I think that definitely, I feel that and just because this is an editing class, like I find that I'm editing a lot more in other places. Like I was at a museum recently and I was actually editing like the little text that explains artifacts. That comma is unnecessary. And normally I wouldn't have thought that. Or, yeah, it kind of freaked me out actually. So just in the editing, but also I think in the feeling that you can start something, you know, because it just started off with an idea, you know, like what would happen if we had an undergraduate research journal? What goes into this? So when we just started, it really, you kind of see the process and how do you start a publication? How do you start a long-term project like this? You look at what other universities have done. You read through their publications. You kind of see what seemed to have worked, what seemed to have not worked. You can even contact them. You can really go through the process of, all right, so that's what they've done. How would Dominican do it? How could we possibly do that here? Who do we have to have involved? What sort of policy should we have? You know, you need things like a name. You need an editorial board. Who should be more involved? Who should be less involved? These are all questions that normally you wouldn't think about. Like, oh, someone started a journal. But you don't really think about the long-term process and how are we going to keep this last? How are we going to make this a tradition? You know, marketing, things like that. Things I wouldn't have thought of. You know, like, how are we going to market this? I don't know, just put it out there. So I think that's one thing I'm really going to take away from this, because you can use this not only for publications, but any long-term project in, you know, your own life or in your career. I think that this is a really good class to learn that lesson and to take that with you. Yeah.
I think I really realized how minuscule the decision making comes to be. We would spend weeks debating, going back and forth, well, do we want to do it this way or this way? Should we have it online or have it in print, and why? And, you know, when it came time to propose it, you really have to have a strong standpoint. We want it this way for this reason because we think it's going to work that way, or you have to boil down your ideas to what is really functional. So I think we all really learned how difficult it is to make a decision too, because sometimes we had to make the functional decision that wasn't necessarily what we wanted, but well, it made sense.